Hello there. This is Top Matters. Right here, we talk about top matters affecting Nigerians at the moment. I am Victor Emmanuel. As the 2023 general elections draw near, we are spotlighting candidates contesting for different offices within the Nigerian political system. Today on the program, we have Otunba Engineer Adewale Adenaike, who is contesting for the senatorial position in Ogun East Senatorial District under the auspices of the Social Democratic Party. Stay tuned.
It's been great, I would say, with all its attendant issues. I've been in politics this is my fourth time of contesting for the Senate, and I've been in it since the beginning of democracy. My first attempt at Senate was 2003 when I was given the baptism of fire. Then 2007 when I won my primaries, and simply because the governorship candidates also won the primaries from my local government, I was denied the ticket to go to the general elections. I also came out in 2011. No sooner had we started, we were advised to withdraw simply because there was need for other parties to come in. And in order to entice the other parties, they need to give out some positions to them. So again, we lost out there. Then this time again. So, but this time again, there's no stepping down. There's nothing. I'm going to go all the way. I'm the candidate of SDP, Social Democratic Party, in Ogun East for senatorial seat. The campaign is ongoing. We're doing door to door. We're doing village to village, house to house campaign, because I think it's better than all this rabble rousing. All the rabble rousing we're seeing is just a way to display and spend all the money they've stolen. For me, there's nothing wrong with rallies, but rallies where you're going to be spending hundreds of millions of naira, I think you rather use that money for something more meaningful. But what we're doing is we're going from village to village, house to house, trying to convince them that we're better candidates than the ones that are going around the streets right now. My drive is passion to serve. I feel that because I grew up in the village in Ogun, Nijebu, and I have experienced poverty. I've seen poverty in life, and I've also seen the other side of poverty, which is what you will call wealth. And I know that to be poor for me is a sin, and no person has the right to be poor. And if people have been put in a place where all they see on a daily basis is poverty, for those of you who have had the opportunity of getting out of that poverty line, it is then incumbent on you to do all you can to assist your people to cross the line from where they are. And that's my drive. And that drive has been with me since I was a kid. I've always been wanting to help people. And that's the kind of person I am. Okay, when I started that, I told people that my agenda to go to the Senate is yes. Yes, because I believe that for this country, Nigeria, and especially my senatorial district, to have any meaningful advancement, you need to invest in our youths. The yes is youth. And there is need to invest in Nigerian youth. And investing in Nigerian youth is not just about giving them what do you call it, sewing machines and motorbikes, and saying that you are empowering them. For me, you are denigrating Nigerian youths when you do that. What is important is development, human capital development. Because when you do that, then all this recalcitrant behavior will no longer be there. You can't ask somebody to get up, pull somebody up while you are sitting down. So there is need for me and for anybody who is in government to put on their agenda human capital development, especially Nigerian youth, because that's where the energy is. The E that follows it is education. Now, how do you develop the youth without education? And education is not only academic, you can also have vocational education. Yes, everybody must learn how to read and write. For me, from primary school, that is where you start. You start your academic and vocational. I want to bring out bills that will make it compulsory for all institutions of learning in this country, be it private or public. But when I say public, I mean government. Now, they must incorporate both academic and vocational training right from the get go. Because what you find out is this. I remember when I was in school, my dad and at least my parents decided what subjects I should study. They even decided what course I should read when I go to tertiary institution. But they're not looking at the capacity of the child. Because if there is synergy between the home and the school, now the school and the home will be able to know exactly which direction a child is going. If a child is an art student, why are you forcing that child to do sciences? If a child is not very good academically, why aren't you considering vocational education? So those are things that we need to start right from the get-go. And then we develop that and take it up to secondary education. And then by the time you are entering tertiary, you've learned a trade. Are you with me? So there is need for us to rejig the entire education system. Like if you want to ruin a nation, ruin the education system, and the nation will come crashing down. So that is an area we need to invest in. Now, if somebody had gone into vocational education, now obviously there is need to empower those sort of people. What you need to do is, okay, you've learned how to become a plumber, for example. All the implements of plumbing you provide because you've already provided training. So what they now need is tools of office. They've got their tools, they're very good at what they do. Let them just go and take over the world using your profession. They've got minimal education in terms of academic, but now they've got their vocational education. As they go on with their work, they'll be learning along the line as well. So all of these things you have to do. There are people who, in Nigeria, I've seen engineers, electrical engineers, civil engineers, leaving university looking for work. My brother, you can create work. As an engineer, you create work. You don't go looking for work. So all this, I must go and find a white collar job because you go to the banks in this country. I find doctors working in the bank. I find pharmacists, engineers. They're not bankers. It's just that that's the job they were able to get. So all of this must change. We need to professionalize all our institutions. We need researches in the universities. We need to say to universities like TED Fund provides so much money for universities. A lot of money must go into research. There must be cure for malaria, permanent cure for malaria. There must be permanent cure for AIDS, if you know what I mean. I know that is a global thing, but Nigerians have the capacity to do those things. So there's need to invest in education and empowerment. Yes. Then, if you look at this, something I call sports. S. The S is for sports. You know what you find out in the S is this. Now, in Nigeria, they say we have three main tribes. That's what they say. I don't believe it, but that's what they say. They say we have the Yorubas, we have the Igbos, we have the Hausas. Yes, those are the main languages. Let's call it languages. Okay. Now, for me, I think the only time those three people and all other sub-ethnic groups under that claim to be Nigerians is when Nigeria is playing football or when Nigeria is involved in an international sporting activity. That's the time you will hear, I'm a Nigerian. Super Eagles are playing, everybody is a Nigerian. But take that out of it and bring religion. You're on your own. Everybody goes their separate ways. What am I saying? Why are we not investing in that? Why is that? Because something that is going to bind the nation together, that we should find the reason to invest in it. So for me, I'm not saying everybody will become footballers or everybody will become sprinters or high jumpers. No, but let us invest in it such that it can bind our people together. There is need for Nigeria. Nigeria has so much potential, but we've been hearing this since I was a little kid that Nigeria has so much potential. I just wonder when that potential will come to reality. So that's why people like us are in this. Then something I must say about education. You look at this. A lot of kids don't like mathematics for whatever reason. That's not, I'm not just thinking that. That's real. That's norm. That's everywhere you go. People say mathematics, they're not interested. Okay. Do you know what? Something? Why can't we teach mathematics in the local languages? Tell me why you cannot teach sciences in the language that people understand. That is what they've done in China. That's what they've done in Germany. That's what they've done in America because their local language is English. Okay? Why can't we teach mathematics in Hausa language? And come and see a lot of mathematicians from Hausa land. Why can't we teach biology, chemistry in Ijebu language? That people will be attracted to it. They want to know it because all you have to do is to say X plus Y and say, I'm not interested because it's so complicated. But it's not. It's not as complicated because we're having to use other languages that they are not used to. If you want to study in Dutchland, you have to go and learn Dutch. So if somebody wants to study in Ahmadu Bello, then go and learn Hausa. You want to study in Ile-Ife, go and learn Yoruba, UNN, go and learn Igbo. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that people will begin, you'll be surprised. Look, let me tell you something. A lot of things that you see around us, your television, your music system, your car, your phones, and all of that things. The subjects that create them are science subjects that create those things, right? Okay. All other subjects market them. So why aren't we studying those subjects that will create things for us? So that we get a lot of people in the creative industry. People are traveling into Nigeria because the best doctors are here. You see our doctors outside of this country. They are the best where they go. And most of them studied here in Nigeria. So why can't such capacity be kept in this country and get people to come here instead of us having our medical tourism the other direction? Because our priorities are warped. All the things that we could use to anchor the development of this nation have been stolen by a few people. And it's pretty sad. First and foremost, what I realize is this: when you are going into office in this country, you go to people, you tell them to vote for you, you deceive them by giving them money, giving them indomie, and giving them palm oil or vegetable oil and all of that to induce their voting for you. By the time you do all of that, as soon as you get into office, you hire bodyguards and policemen around you, and your people can no longer get through to you. Well, that's going to be different with me, right? Hear it now. I'm going to be very much available for my people. There's going to be surgery on a monthly basis where people will come to me, will sit down face to face. They will tell me their aspirations, their desires, what they expect of me, what they want me to do to assist them. So that there'll be opportunity for us to have that person-to-person interaction. I won't be sending any PA or any secretary or SLA because I was the one elected, not my PA or my secretary. So my people should be able to have access to me. So I'm going to make that available. Then also, I've promised people in Ogun East on a monthly basis, there are 9 local governments. I'll be going from one local government to the other, where we'll have town hall meetings, where I'll be discussing what's happening at the Red Chamber, because at the end of the day, they sent me there. So I'm not there to represent myself. I'm there to represent them. So it is what they want me to do that I will go there to do, right? All I need to do is to use the application of my intellect, of my exposure, of my experience, of my knowledge, of my education. Those are the things I will use to articulate the desires and the yearnings of my people. That is something I'm going to do differently. That has never happened before, where you'll be having your senator coming to you, say, hey guys, let's have a meeting. It's going to be different. And that's because in the UK, the MPs have surgery time where people will go there and wait their turn and go to your MP, lay your matters on the table, and it will be taken to the Houses of Parliament. And things that it can deal with, it will deal with it there and then. I'm going to introduce that into my senatorial district. And another thing I'm going to do is this. I've told them all this, what do you call it, constituency projects that you're going to attract into the area. We have 9 local governments. Any constituency project that is for a specific area, I will make sure that the contractor comes from that place. It won't be a contractor from somewhere else that is coming to do it. And all the things you would need to buy to do it. Let's say, for example, you want to build a hall. I'm just using that as an example. You will need an architect, you will need an engineer, you will need a quantity surveyor, you will need a builder. They must come from that local government. Because what I want to do is to start recycling wealth amongst my people. I believe the first duty of a government is to protect what? people and person security. And if that is not the mainstay of any government, that government has failed woefully. But burning of offices of INEC, I don't see that as a reason why elections will not be held. One. Two, I don't see any reasons why people should not come out to vote. Because at the end of the day, those who don't vote are the reasons why those who get into office get there. Because if you have a foolish man who's running for an election and the ones who are sensible decide to sit at home, the foolish man will get into office and it will determine the future of the sensible ones. Because if you look at it, everything about you has to do with government. So you cannot say you're not going to participate. For me, from what we've heard so far from the security agencies, from INEC, I think they've put enough in place to protect people on the day. And we're not fighting a war. It's all about going to vote. So I don't know what I've told my people in my area, you have nothing to be afraid of because I will be there myself. You know, of course, I won't be everywhere. I will only be at my own polling unit. But the issue is this: what's going to happen? Are we going to start a war? Are you going to start a war amongst your own? Because if you look at it, it's your polling unit. These are the people you know within your area. So there is not import of people into your area. So what are you going to be doing? You're going to be fighting? So I can't see that. I can't see any problem. I expect this election to go smoothly. And from all the things that we're hearing that INEC has put in place, it will be very difficult to rig this election. I'm not saying it's impossible. It will be very difficult to rig it. What am I saying? It's important that we all come out. I'm encouraging everyone to come out en masse. Go pick up your PVC. Make sure you are not disenfranchised. Make sure you don't disenfranchise yourself. Don't say, oh, I know, we already know the result. We are not going to come out. Well, by stating you already know the result, you are the one telling us the result. Really, it's important everybody votes. And all the votes will count. That much I know. The Nigerian youths that are clamoring for change and clamoring for positions are not ready. They are not well positioned. They're not ready. They're not prepared to take office. Seriously, they're not. For me, I'm in it. I see a lot of young people who are saying they want Mr. A to be president, they want Mr. B to be governor, and all of that. And as soon as naira or dollars shows their faces, then the song changes straight away. Then it means they don't have self-motivation. What is motivating some of our youths, not all, some of our youth, is money. And I've seen a situation where, without mentioning names, in the immediate past, where the youths have come together, we are not going to agree, this thing it must be like this. And as soon as those they are protesting against came out with dollars, that was the end of the yearnings. Now, that's why I'm saying they're not ready. When you're ready, you will know they're ready. When Nigerian youths are ready to take over this country, they will take over. And they will not be ready from the Yahooistic point of view. They will be ready from an intellectual point of view. They'll be ready as prepared to take over the country. You look at all the great heroes we had in our country. The Awolowo's, the Azikiwe's, the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa's, Aminu Kano's, and all of that. Look at the time they were negotiating the independence of this country. Take your mind back to when they took over this country. How old were they? They were in their 20s and 30s, early 30s. All of them. Now, superimpose that on what we have today, our 20s and 30s. I shed tears for Nigeria because our kids in that category today, all they're looking at is quick money. How do I become a multi-millionaire straight after university? And most of them are moronic graduates. They went through university, yes, but university did not go through them. And I make no apologies because I've come across a lot of them, even in my profession. I wish we could go back to the Nigerian national anthem that we knew or that we had our time. Nigeria, we hailed our own dear native land. It said, though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Now, it's important for Nigerian youths to even begin to look at that particular sentence, that there is need for them to, first of all, you need to self-develop yourself. There must be self-development, and you must be willing to learn. Okay? Don't aim for things you can't get. At 25, at 30, why do you want to own a private jet? To do what? To convince who? It's important, first of all, you need to get education. Proper, grounded education. Make sure you make yourself available. Listen to elders, listen to the words of all elders, read a lot of books of important people. And because if you don't read books, you will not know what obtained before your time, right? They say if you want to really hide something, hide it in a textbook, and Nigerians won't look at it. Now, I'm saying let us change that culture. Let us read. Let us experience things wide. Let's look away from these immediate things, immediate needs. Yes, I need a car. I need to impress that babe. I need a house. I need this. You need them. You need them. But you don't need the, you need a car. But I'm telling you, to go from Warri to Sapele, you don't need a Mercedes Benz to get there. You can get there through a public transport, an efficient public transport. You can get there with a car that is not Mercedes Benz. So it's important, first of all, to set your priorities right as a young person. Now, for my people in Ogun East, they know me very well. They know that I'm not one of the male politician who's going to come around and distribute Congo of rice during Christmas and give them oil during Salah. I don't do such things. Now, I'm saying to you, go and get your PVC. Let us change the narrative. Let us elect people who are people-driven, people who are selfless, people who are passionate about delivery, like I did as SA to the Minister of State for Education. I never got paid a penny for my 3.5, nearly 4 years in office, and yet I did the job diligently. We can afford to serve you diligently. I'm ready to serve. I'm ready to take you along to where you want to go, and also to take you to where you ought to be. And I tell you, Ogun East will never be the same under my watch, because my 4 years in office will see a total turnaround, and the whole of the country will come and see the difference in representation. Let this resonate everywhere. Go out there, go and vote. They said that PVC is your tool, is your power. I tell you, it's not your power. Your brain is your power. PVC is the vehicle for your thumbprint to be on that ballot paper. That's what you need. Go and get that vehicle, and then use your brain, because without your brain intact, you can use your finger in the wrong place. So the PVC has not done anything. So I want you all to come out on the 25th of February and vote en masse for me. Adewale Adenaike is your man, and is the man who will represent you adequately and responsibly at the National Assembly. There's nothing about me. I'm just, well, put it this way. I went to school here in Nigeria, primary school, Catholic primary school, went to secondary school, is also Catholic. Then after which I traveled abroad. I went to the UK, studied civil engineer, building technology first, civil engineering again, went to soil mechanics, postgraduate, did project management PhD, studied law after that at Birkbeck University, at Birkbeck College, University of London. I did all of that, and then of course I practiced my profession in the UK. I became a director. Then I had my own business, Chris Mary. I've done a few things. Then I came to Nigeria, did the same thing. I was into estate development, and of course, I served in this government under the Minister of State for Education. I'm happily married with kids, and I've never, even in spite of my being away from the country for close to 40 years, I've never been away from my community. I've always contributed meaningfully to the community. And I'm still going to do that, whether in or out of office, because I feel I owe my community to give back. Because whatever I've become today, I was brought up there. Show me a 7-year-old, I will show you the adult. So my community made me. Therefore, I feel I owe my community, my people, to do something for them. So really, and I live a simple life, don't smoke, I don't drink. So when I say I don't drink, I don't. That's alcohol. That is, of course, I take my orange juice and pineapple juice. So that is who I am. There's nothing more than that. I'm a Christian, a practicing Catholic, unapologetically too. My leisure time, I do a lot of walking. I walk a lot uh, for exercise, and I'm a pragmatic sports person. I'm an unrepentant Arsenal supporter. Of course, I enjoy my family. I love to stay with my kids, my wife. We're happy staying together. So, really, I don't do anything that will bring happiness to my family or to myself. I do little things moderately.
It has been a good time discussing with Otunba Engineer Adewale Adenaike, the candidates for Ogun East Senatorial District under the auspices of the Social Democratic Party. If you miss any of our episodes, you can follow us on all our social media platforms. I am your host, Victor Emmanuel, and this is Top Matters.